Oh, gosh. Oh, what day is it? Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
And it's already June.
Yes.
It was crazy. It was a crazy last week. Did you go to Pride?
No, I did not. Because you had told me about it, and I just couldn't work my schedule to make it.
It was weird this year. Because
Really?
usually it's the first weekend. It would have been this weekend
Yes.
of June. But I think because of Memorial Day getting pushed back, this got pushed back. I don't know. It was just a cluster. It was a cluster, so what happened. But it was good. It was a good turnout. We had a lot of good people. I didn't wear my necklace. Jason got me a hot air balloon necklace.
Oh, sweet.
It was really cool. And I got him a pumpkin. A little pumpkin. Also it was like made out of like wrought copper. One of those like copper wire.
Oh, in the shape of a pumpkin?
It was in the shape, and inside of it was carnelian, which is my husband's favorite, and like little peridot leaves.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, mine was just like a hot air balloon, and inside the hot air balloon was like a green marble.
Oh, okay.
It caught the light. It was really pretty.
Neat.
It was a really neat turnout. I appreciated everyone who showed up, everyone who participated. It was fun.
Neat. Yeah, I wasn't able to switch things up to be able to get there. I had a meeting and I just couldn't get out of it. And then I just found out today as well, my friend Vicky, who was instrumental in moving the Japanese Hall down to Legacy of the Plains, she's being honored by the Japanese government.
Oh, wow.
Saturday at 12:30.
Oh, so she's in Japan?
No.
No?
The Consular General from Chicago is coming here.
Oh, wow.
But it's oh my gosh, now I forgot the name of it. It's the Order of something, and it's basically for people who have, contributed to the
That's so great.
culture.
And that's at Heritage?
Legacy.
Oh, Legacy.
That's okay.
Legacy. I don't know why I keep saying Heritage. Because I think Heritage Museum, Legacy of the Plains. Yeah. Legacy of the Plains.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
So
I wish that was more down. It should be so important, though. It should be a more downtown kind of thing.
Yeah.
You'd think, like maybe in the Midwest or maybe even in the park, that more people would realize it. But
yeah,
people don't appreciate their history.
No, they don't.
In this county.
They
just don't. Especially history that doesn't really go with the whole cowboys and Indians kind of thing,
They don't know anything outside of just the basic stuff they were taught
it's quite incredible, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
I'm gonna go down there. No matter how I feel, I'm gonna drag my butt down there because it's not like I can go next time,
Nope.
And if I can rearrange my schedule to go somewhere I want to go, I will. And Pride, I was really kind of bummed because I didn't even know about it till you told me last week.
Yeah, well, it's not like I said, it snuck up on me, and I wasn't the only one. There are several people. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. and since I'm gonna toot my horn here a little bit. Since I left the Star Herald, nobody covers it.
Well, yeah. The only way you can really there's a Facebook posts that get spread around, but if you're not in it, if you're just slide out of it, or because of the algorithm, it keeps filtering through. If you just don't happen to look at the right time, you're not going to see it.
Yep.
So I missed it.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for my husband because he's in his greenhouse talking to more of the people who are involved in that. So that's the only.
That's how you knew it was pushed up.
Oh yeah, I would have slept in otherwise.
Yeah.
I would have slept in. Yeah. It would have been Monday before Jason told me, like, wait, what just happened? What?
I'll try to remember to start paying attention beginning of May next year.
Well, it's usually always in the first weekend of June.
Yeah.
It's usually, and I think it'll go back to that. I really think this year was because Memorial Day, because of its timing, got pushed back too. Because Memorial Day is usually the last weekend of May and the Monday. But the Monday didn't fall in May, it fell in June, so they pushed it back.
Yeah.
So I think that has something to do with it. I really do, because I think next year it'll just be back to normal.
Good. We need it back to normal.
I need some normalcy in my life. Nothing normal in this town.
So now that we've hit the 5-minute mark, this is Storytelling on the Plains.
Welcome.
And this is our 100th episode where Connor and I are just going to talk about what we've done and where we're going. And
5 minutes of bullshit?
Yeah.
100 episodes later.
I'm pretty sure we do more than 5 minutes of bullshit every week before we ever get into the episode. And that's
this
okay.
is Storytelling on the Plains. My name's Connor. Okay,
Yeah. See you next time. we didn't do anything special. I just figured, 100th episode, give me a break from writing.
Yeah. You do all the writing.
And
I hope all our viewers know this. I do not do any of the writing. Nope. Dyslexic. Don't have an ounce worth of patience with computers. I need to do, I think, isn't there a thing where you can speak into the computer and stuff and it tells you, like, it'll write it all out?
Oh, it'll turn it to text,
but it's not like ChatGPT stuff. It's like actually listens to you properly.
Yeah, dictation stuff, yeah.
A dictator.
I think the most famous one is Dragon.
Dragonfly.
It was Dragon Naturally Speaking, and it's slightly changed its name a little bit over the last 25 years, but it's still Dragon. And I did try to use that a little bit for my personal writings. And my laptops have Linux on them, so that it doesn't work on Linux, just Windows. But on my Windows machine, it sucked because it was like, I like Connor, period, open quote. Or he said, open quote, and comma,
you have to
do that bit, yeah. And
that's not fun.
No, but there are some programs that are out there now, because I have looked around at them, but I think they're all AI, and
I guess necessarily against that, as long as it says what I said.
What I actually said, yeah. And it's basically diction software that has learned where the quotes go. Actually, a lot of them that I've seen don't have the quotes where they should be. You still got to go back in and edit to some degree.
Well, and there was something on NPR recently that was talking about, one of the remarkable things about human speech is that it doesn't stop. We I guess for when we write it to versus how we talk, you'll notice that we don't ever have the spaces, except for a Nebraskan like me who pauses all the time. But usually if you're a fast-talking speaker like this and you don't really understand my pauses, you still understand my words. But when you write it out, you have the spaces.
Yep.
And that's one of the things in AI that's so hard for them to catch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's different intonation. And different pauses.
And just like I said, how human speech, because in true human speech, there is no such thing as a space. I'm talking constantly. This is just one long string of thought in word form. But when we write it out, we have to put the spaces in.
And because if I say yesterday I went to the store, you write that out. There has to be a comma after yesterday, according to English grammar. But when I speak, you just keep going. Yeah.
No spaces, no nothing.
Yeah.
No capitalization. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good piece.
Yeah. So we are at our 100th episode, and Connor and I decided to give me a little bit of a break and to just kind of chat about where we've been. So if people are just popping up now on Storytelling on the Plains, welcome. You got 100 episodes you can go through.
There you go. You'll be bored.
Yeah.
I hope so. Maybe you will be bored.
Yeah. I don't know. We did make, I'm not going to say how much because it's not really a lot, but we did make almost double what we normally make a month on the little ads.
Yeah.
Almost enough to buy a candy bar.
I was going to lie and just say we're going to get that mansion now.
Yeah. So there it has to be someone new listening because it went up a little bit.
I get people new. I keep suggesting it to people.
I do
told
too.
You either like us or you don't.
Yeah,
If not,
yeah. If you like two people just rambling on about stupid stuff before they actually get to the topic, then hey, this is the best thing for you.
The topics sometimes more boring than the conversation. I don't know.
Yeah. We just wing it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We're just doing our own thing.
I guess I've done it 100 times now, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, at least for us, it doesn't matter. We enjoy doing it, and there you go. I was debating, since we're meeting on Wednesdays now, of making our drop day Thursday.
I don't know, because that can always change, you know me.
Yeah. And I also thought about...
terrible time.
Yeah, because it's summertime for you with the tree planting, and it's,
summertime with tree planting and weddings coming up and drought interfering with everything that I do constantly.
Yeah. I did think about sitting down and just writing a couple of things that I know I can get done quickly, because I probably don't need notes on those things, and then just sit down and record them, so that if something happens and, you got a tree that exploded and you got to go take care of it, then it's not an issue. But, whatever. I can tell you, I think my favorite episode is the Bighorn Sheep one, because we somehow managed to talk for an hour and 45 minutes about Bighorn Sheep. Do you remember doing that?
Because I know so much from Custer State Park about Bighorn Sheep. I saw them all the time. They're cute. They're fluffy. Yeah. Don't go near them.
Yeah, no, I would not go near them at all. No.
Never go near them. But they're cute.
But I enjoyed doing that episode just because I've had a few opportunities at Custer State Park, which is in South Dakota. It's not quite in our area, but whatever, those Bighorn Sheep are still related to ours down here. Yeah. And we went into why, so go listen to that episode and you'll learn why. It's all interconnected. But also here, that I talked in that episode too about the day I went with my friend Steve. We went out to Cedar Canyon, and he let me use his 800 millimeter lens, which is super heavy. And I was resting. I looked weird taking the pictures because we didn't have a tripod or anything. So I'm literally resting part of my camera on my shoulder, and I'm trying as best as I can to look in the viewfinder and get pictures. And I got some awesome pictures. And then we went over to Wright's Gap, which is like 15-minute drive from Cedar Canyon. And we come around the bend, and boom, there's a dozen of them standing right in the middle of the road. And I'm like, oh my God. And Steve's like, do you have your, and he didn't even get to camera because I already had it up and was taking pictures. And then he unrolled the window. He's like, lean out. And I'm leaning out and taking pictures. And it was a blast doing that. But
and even out there, they're not easy to spot.
No.
They're not easy to find. So the fact that you got a big herd like that just out in the middle of the roads, it's pretty good. And I think the 3-4 years I was up there, that didn't happen more than a handful of times.
Yeah,
it was very, very rare.
It's not common to catch them at all. But down here, I got lucky twice, and then the third time I was on top of Cedar Canyon with Steve, and we were looking down, and there was the herd of white-tailed deer and bighorn sheep. But they were way too far away for pictures. I did take pictures so that you could kind of see, look, they look like little dots from here. They could still kill me, but they look like little dots. And I've hiked all around this area, and it's only 3 times that I've seen them.
Yep, very rare.
They don't like people. They kind of stay away from them, and I'm glad that they stay away from them. So I thought that was a neat episode, just because we got done talking, and we looked at the timer, and we were just like, really? We've been talking this long about sheep? Bighorn sheep, not regular sheep, sorry. And I'm trying to think ahead, and we need to get Jason to come and tell some ghost stories, because we've done ghost stories 2 years in a row.
The ghost story thing. Yeah, that's kind of been a fun thing for Halloween, telling ghost stories,
And I don't really celebrate Halloween. I don't really celebrate any holiday. Yeah. But those stories are always kind of neat. And
Jason and I definitely get more into the holiday. We're definitely Halloween nerds.
Yeah.
To the T.
almost everybody I know is Halloween nerds, and then they're surprised when they find out I don't celebrate it. And I'm like, okay, I have PTSD. Loud noises and crowds of people trigger it.
My whole life's a horror story. Leave me alone. Yeah. My whole life's Halloween every goddamn day. Leave me alone.
Oh,
but I get, and for me, I'm terrible because Jason can't watch horror stories. Like, there's already 2. There's like one that's been out 3 times, made a big box office splash already.
Okay.
And it's about this girl who's obsessed with this boy. Relentlessly, kind of Stephen King's Misery-esque kind of thing.
Okay.
Versus like Twilight Zone, that one where you're like a monkey's paw and you make a wish. Kind of like that, like crossed over. And the way I was, and I'm like, I can't. And Jason knows I cannot watch horror stories because I'm one of those people who's like, that's bullshit. That's stupid. Like,
that's not real.
Like what kind of, who would do that? Like, but it's funny because there are horror stories I deeply, deeply like that I don't think really are horror stories to nowadays opinion, and a lot of them are Stephen King. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of the ones where back in the 90s I was like, ooh, like It even. It was kind of remade to be scary-er, but even that's like, it's pretty weak horror. Like, it's pretty weak.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to the stuff that they have now. They also had another horror one. I guess that was a bit more interesting where I guess you're trapped in an endless maze of rooms. Mm-hmm. That looked, I guess, kind of interesting.
So have you seen the movie Cube? I mean,
I've seen Cubed, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not Cube because that's why I made fun of Saw.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's the first thing I saw.
I haven't seen Saw.
The first time I watched Saw, I was like, this is Cubed. This is a ripoff. This is a ripoff of Cube. It's the same thing, but Cube's more creative because it's like by a psychotic government, not just a psycho guy who's dying from cancer. It's just... I was calling it. I was that guy. So, you can't take me to a horror movie. I'll laugh.
Okay.
I will laugh if like someone gets killed just the right way. Mm-hmm. I will laugh, not because it wasn't horrible, but it's just like, that's...
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's not how the blood would come out.
Yeah. And like if you go all the way back, because I'm super old, to the Friday the 13th movies.
And that's even funnier now when you watch those. It's like, oh, come on.
I remember asking someone if I was a terrible human being, if I laughed when this one guy died. And I don't remember which one because there's like 9 million Friday the 13th movies. But in this one movie, the guy and the girl went camping, they're sleeping. And Jason comes and yanks the guy out of his sleeping bag. Not out of the sleeping bag. He grabs the sleeping bag as well. Mm-hmm. And he just drags him, picks him up, and then swings him like a baseball bat against a tree. Yeah. And the guy died. And I started cracking up. No, I laughed out loud.
And then I would have been like, what's the brand of that sleeping bag? Like... How did you just not rip right out of there? You know how many times that things like I get a sleeping bag and just rips right in half just in the middle of the night? What brand is that? Yeah.
The special baseball bat sleeping bag.
Well, even I was a guy at Halloween when Michael first showed up. You knew that it was in California with bright green lawns and a bunch of leaves just like they piled on. And I guess that was true. I found out later, but even then as a kid, it's like, come on.
Yeah, Halloween. Well, why is your grass green?
Hocus Pocus and Disney, which I also love. It's a really great movie, but they did the same freaking thing. Like you went there, it's like, why is everything green and you see these like leaves just scattered everywhere? That doesn't make any sense for the time of the day. It's like, no.
Okay, so if I ever go see a horror movie again, I'll make sure. Well, I don't know. Maybe I would make sure to have you go because then we would have a good time. We'd end up getting kicked out.
Yeah, Jason wouldn't have me. No, I don't. Horror movies don't horrify me. Yeah. Life is horrifying enough. Trump horrifies me. My life horrifies me. Everything that's going on horrifies me. I don't need. Yeah. I don't need horror shows.
Yeah, dealing with my PTSD horrifies me. I don't need a horror movie to, activate anything else in my body. I'm good.
Need horror. And that's the funny is because they almost ramp it up to a degree so ridiculous it makes it funny, like the ghost stories that we talked about in Storytelling on the Plains, because it's just so ludicrous.
Yes.
Like it's just they don't have to ramp it up so high.
Yeah.
Just like the little things would have been good enough, like a killer squirrel or something, something like that.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It's a little more innocent than a ghost pirate ship in the middle of the North Platte River.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that would, yeah.
Yep. I was actually thinking of that one. I was like, yeah, that's just such a ridiculous story.
Yeah,
okay, whatever.
It's just like, or the lovely Lakota stories, which really, again, aren't, you don't even know if they're scary, or if are they supposed to teach a lesson, or are they meant to take a jab at you? You never know with them. Which I think I would like those. I like those more.
Yes, because you don't know which one you're going to get when you get into it.
And you don't know what you don't necessarily. And I admit I'm completely white in this scenario, so maybe a Lakota knows, but I don't get the point of the story.
Yeah. Like, some of them.
Is it an analogy? Is it a joke? Like what? Is it just something for fun? I never understood.
Yeah, and some of them I think it just kind of reinforces their belief that you shouldn't. I don't know. You shouldn't talk to the ancestors, but you can anyway. Pray to them. I don't know. Yeah, it's confusing.
You can't talk to them, but you talk to them anyway.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If I knew someone that was dead that was walking toward my tent and then was standing outside the tent, I wouldn't be like, hey, come on in. Yeah, no. If you've ever watched a vampire movie, you don't invite anything in.
Maybe I would because I'm a Nebraskan and I'm polite. And I probably would. I'd be that person like, no. You hungry?
Yeah, come on.
Got a bowl of chili? Come on in.
Yeah.
Watch something on the tube?
Yeah.
I don't know. Have a beer. You drink beer? No, I'd be screwed.
Yeah. See, and I'm on the opposite end because I wouldn't invite anybody in. You come to my house and you ring the doorbell. I'm not answering it. I can see you because you know where my computer desk is.
I know you don't answer. Yeah, I know. You don't. You're like, no.
And we actually just had that. Someone came and rang the doorbell, and Paul's like, oh. And I go, yeah, you got to answer it. He's like, why is the door open? I go, because Connor's going to be here in 20 minutes. So it's all your fault today.
You know how many Girl Scout cookies and Swan ice cream bars you missed out on? Not answering the door.
Yeah, that's just okay. That's okay. I'll take it. I also noted down that I'm really glad the theater episodes are over. They were good, but they drained me.
I don't know if we've done too much of an update on that, but the Nile. The Nile. Sorry, not the Midwest. The Nile is still going strong. They recently did Mario Galaxy Quest, which was a very new first. What did we call it? First show.
Oh, first run.
First run. Okay. It was a first run movie that they showed, which I was pretty impressed with. Keep going with what they're doing. I of course have no idea how the box office is going to, but seeing that on the marquee was awesome. So I hope they're still doing well. It looks like they're doing well. It looks like the people in charge, from what I've heard of the city council in Mitchell, are very passionate about it and doing well. So for an update for the theater,
on all the theaters we
curious
did.
about the Nile. And the Midwest, of course, is still doing good.
Yep.
Still doing good. I encourage anybody here to go check out a show. They're always doing good stuff. I think they're going to do, I don't know if they're going to do their Disney matinee for the kids again, but last year they did that. They did some classics like, The Lion King, Bambi, and all that, but that was kind of cool. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to do this year, but
me
check
either.
It out. Check it out.
But I did thoroughly enjoy doing it, but I got burned out at the end, and it got to a point where I didn't want to look online anymore to double check anything. I was like, no, I'm just going with what's in my notes because I'm going to find them. And I honestly had no idea there were that many movie theaters and drive-ins out here. It was just...
We didn't have shit to do.
Yeah.
This is before we could all smoke marijuana from Colorado. We didn't have shit to do.
Well,
we couldn't drink.
Technically, you still can't do that, but people do.
Sure.
You know what?
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
This is before the marijuana era. This is before, like, you could do stuff. Well, even in certain areas, you couldn't even drink.
Yeah.
This is kind of a dry town.
Yeah.
So,
you know,
what are you going to do? Go watch a movie.
Yep. And some of them, they're ready to go, but they didn't have the seating done, so they just pulled some cinder blocks and some hunks of wood, and everybody sat and watched the movie.
Yeah.
just what you did. So I mean, I enjoyed doing it, but it did burn me out a bit, and I was glad I had the next few episodes already planned out, and it was on stuff that I knew probably 80 to 85% of the information that we ended up sharing in those probably 4 or 5 episodes after that, because it took a little bit of a burden off my brain. But I was glad we did it, and I know we'll end up with another series somewhere along the line. And last week we did State Line Island, and I think I just like it because it's the most recent one. And I know you and I have spoken about doing video many times.
Yeah.
But when we have so many other life things, I'm sure people can understand. It's hard. I need to learn how to use the program and then put stuff in, but I've got good video. I've got great pictures. I just need to find the time, and that just hasn't happened yet. And I would love to be able to do that. I spoke to a friend the other day, and I told her, I said, I wish I had the money to pay you to do that. And she's like, yeah, I would. And I'm not going to abuse our friendship that way and ask her to do 100 episodes for free.
We need to go find someone. Like I said, we always need to go find someone like in the college. Doing like this photography kind of stuff. Like, hey.
Because we don't need super fancy stuff. But I look at I like listening to Forrest Valkai, his science stuff. And, there's months between episodes because he's got a full-time job and he's working on a PhD.
And half the time he's across the country doing something.
Yeah. And he was mentioning on a video I saw the other day, the entire month of June. Where's he going? He's going Costa Rica? Somewhere, Central America.
We need to try to get him here.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Although, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be surprised if he's already been here, because it turns out for that kind of like archaeology thing and anything biology and anything paleontology, a lot of the times they brush through here. They'll just come to egg it. And, it'll be like a one-day thing.
And the thing
they'll be
is,
like, hi, bye, and it's like, but wait.
Yeah, and if you and I were up there, it'd be like, oh my God. But the folks that are up there would be like, oh, what do you do for a living? And he'd be like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. Oh, all right.
But him being a teacher, I guess he does a lot of seminars. And stuff. I think he'd be really good at doing something like that for agate if he could get enough people interested.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't talk about agate, if he talked just about him being a biologist in agate, it is more of those things to get the youth and the people more interested in science.
And that kind of stuff. So I try to remember that, there's other people out there. He just has his niche that he's got, I don't know, several 100,000 viewers.
Well, him and then there's Gutsick Gibbon, who's very similar, does a lot of stuff.
Evolution stuff,
Well, biology, evolution, paleontology.
Yeah.
I think her main study is in, I'm going to slaughter this, but it's has to do with the human. What do you call Homo? Like the Homo sapien, Homo kind of homogeneous kind of thingy.
Yeah,
that's what she studies people.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it's her or Forrest that Homo erectus is their specialty. I want to say I think that.
Gibbon.
Yeah.
Or Erica Gibbon.
Yeah, we don't actually know what her last name is, but that's okay.
No, that's fine. I think she did it for good reasons.
Yes, she did. Absolutely,
which is fine. But and on her thing, it's known as Erica Gibbon or Gutsick Gibbon for those who want to look her up on YouTube.
Yeah,
awesome. She does a lot of really, really cool things. So does Forrest Valdekai.
Yep.
Definitely look them up.
They're both really good, and you look at the fact that they're juggling 2 jobs. I think Erica might only be juggling 1 now because I believe she successfully defended her PhD, so she's like in the final stages of that.
Look if I know. That sounds daunting.
Yeah, I'm such a nerd that I know those things.
They're up on Everest over there, and I'm just like,
hi, can I take your picture? But it's reassuring to know that even though you and I would like to do video, it's a lot of work, and I got to figure out some time so that I can learn how to use the program. Once I learn how to use the program, I don't want to say I'll be able to churn stuff out, because that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
But I will be able to do things more quickly because I know what I'm doing. When I worked at the Star Herald, they used Adobe Premiere, and I can't afford that.
Yeah, Adobe. And how did Adobe of all things got so expensive? I thought once upon a time used to be like one of the cheap, easy go-to things.
They were always expensive, but you could buy like the whole shebang for $1,000, and then it was yours forever.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, it wasn't like free. Yeah. Well, parts of it, I guess, were free, but if it was included in the software. But yeah.
And I can't afford that. So I went and found Kden Live, and I think that's how you pronounce it. It's KDEN Live. And KDE is a type of Linux, so I don't know if it's KDEN Live.
It's Cotton.
Yeah, I don't exactly know how it's pronounced, but I keep calling it Kden Live. And it's a great little video editor, and it's considered one of the best free ones that's out there. It's just I need to sit down and learn. You open it up, and there's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 little mini screens that open, and I don't need all of those screens, so I need to figure out what ones I can close, and then they call things different things from what I had learned. And I also don't remember the things I had learned because I haven't done video for the Star Herald since 2019, so 7 years ago. So I just need time to actually sit down and figure out how to use it, and then I'll be able to get something with it. And it would still always come after the podcast, because, for example, last week when we did State Line Island, when we were talking about the heron, I need to know at what minute mark we were talking about the heron so I can chuck that picture up.
Heron?
Yeah. Whereas there some of the other episodes, some of the earlier episodes, like, when we did Montrose and the church. See, I said it right just for you. It's really Montrose, folks. But when you do that, I've got pictures inside and outside of the church, and they can kind of go in any order. There was a bit where we were talking about the cemetery, so of course put the cemetery at that bit. But for the most part, I could put the photos up in any order, so that would speed the process up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But you're talking, I got to go back and listen to every episode to see where that's at.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and if we record on Wednesday, if I was able to take Thursday and do the video, then that would be great. But I got to learn how to use the program. And, it's not that I'm not willing to learn. It's just this year has...
a million things to do this year.
2026 has been pretty terrible. Christmas Day, I had a friend die. My mom's boyfriend, fiance, died about 2 weeks later. I found out my sister died January 30th, and then a friend of mine died April 9th.
Yep.
And then on top of that, I had some medical issues, and it's just one thing after another, after another, after another. And then when I sort of felt like I was righting the ship, your ship started, tilting.
Yeah.
And so we've been trying to work with the two of them to get stuff going. And, it's just sad. You're like, I got time today. After my friend Ann's funeral, I could learn how to do Kden Live. But you know what? I just spent 4 hours in Harrison at her funeral, and I don't want to. I just don't. Yeah. So it is in the works, folks, and I really want to get to it. It's just I got to find the time, and there's nobody that's going to do this for free. It's a lot of work.
We're doing it damn close for free.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. As a matter of fact, like you and I had the conversation about letting storytelling on theplains.com go, because it costs $200 a year. Yeah. The domain name is like $15-$20, but the hosting is where the money is. So I'm letting it go at the end of the year, and I've made a little note. and different places you can find it. And I did go because I have IreneNorth.com, and my friend in the Netherlands hosts my website for free. So I only have to pay registration for the domain name. I put on my about page links to everywhere you could find storytelling on the plane. So at least there's a place you can go to if you don't want to search for things. But most people, I've had people ask me, "Oh, are you on Spotify?" "Yeah, we're on Spotify." And like 2 seconds later, they show me their phone and they're subscribed. Yeah. So it is turning up pretty quickly, and we just go from there, and we're just doing what we can with things. I'm sure everybody. I'm not even saying everybody in America. Everything is hitting everybody worldwide. And so, if you want to learn some history about Western Nebraska, something to kill your time for an hour and a half, or we're really usually, between 60 and 75 minutes. We don't hit an hour and a half too often.
Not too much.
Every now and then we do. And I remember when we started, we were worried, can we even do 30 minutes?
Right.
And regularly we're at 60 minutes. And so, folks, for those of you that don't know how we got started, Connor and I used to work at the Capwin Youth Shelter here in Scottsbluff. And he would work was it 1 to 11 or 3 to 11?
Oh, random.
Yeah.
Any shift that they wanted me to do, pretty much.
And I worked overnight, so I came in at 10 o'clock and worked till 8 a.m. And often Connor's husband was texting him at like 1 o'clock in the morning, "Dude, are you coming home?" And we're just BSing at work, talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
And I told him one day, I said, I always wanted to start a podcast, but I feel like you need more than one person for what I want to do. I suppose you could do this with one person, but I thought it would be better with two. And you were like, "Yeah, we should do that." So
with that level of enthusiasm right there, like, yeah, should do that.
Yeah. And then I went out.
On a mission from God.
And
I saw the light.
And I remember when we first started, our microphones had the little booms on it, and we kept knocking them off. And somehow I figured out that, why are we using the booms? And we took them off. So
we were terrible.
We were awful when we started. I don't know. Maybe we still are awful. Who cares? We're having fun. I think
I'm one of those people. I don't listen to a lot of my own podcasts. Not because I don't find them fascinating to listen to my own voice spoke back at me.
Yeah, that is 100% the reason why I don't.
It's kind of weird.
And I have a friend in town who has been listening to the podcast, and he said that I have a great voice, a great podcasting voice, and I'm like, is that like you have a face made for radio?
And what does your friend say about me? What about me? I see how it is.
I just don't think about it. I don't like hearing my voice.
Nor do I.
So
I think I have a terrible voice.
I can honestly tell you there's minimal editing. Way back in the beginning, we used to have the conversations where I'll say or so to transition to something else, and I used to go back and edit those out. So
say, okay, yeah, don't you know?
Yeah. I would literally spend, on an hour podcast, I would spend 3 hours combing through it. And I'm going, why? We're having a conversation. People do that in conversation. So I stopped doing it, and I don't honestly know when I stopped doing it.
Moving on now.
Yeah. So anyway, I did also like that story that we did about the Hay Springs bank robbery.
That was a weird one.
It was weird, and I still find it hilarious that William Holstein's standing in the doorway with the groceries, and he still managed. Yeah, he's like, I managed to get home with the cantaloupe, and it wasn't ruined.
We need to redo that whole thing with like an Elliot Ness kind of like the guy that does Elliot Ness, whoever his name is, that does the narration for Elliot Ness. That guy does that old 1920s reporter. Doesn't make any sense. When you were telling that story, that's all I heard. That's how I heard the whole story. Was it that voice?
And it was wild, the whole thing from start to finish. For one, he went home for lunch from school and did that regularly, and I completely forgot that used to be a thing. To the fact that he's walking down the street and he sees some bad guys in a car, and I wonder where they're going.
What those fucks up too.
Yeah, and then he stands in the doorway of the bank because one of the bad guys saw him and put a gun in his side and was like, "Don't do anything." It was just weird. It was weird and wild and wacky, and I'm sure most
like I said, could have been made into one of those old gangster black and white shorts.
Yes.
Where it's just like this happened, and when I mean black and white, where it's like either has the Elliot Ness voice in the background or it's almost silent, where you just hear like the bang bang.
Yeah.
And it just shows a little bleep, and you have to read it. And it has like the auto tune piano playing.
I watched a video the other day. The guy's got lots of subscribers on YouTube. I stumbled on it from something else, and it was about the Germans that died in Death Valley, and it took 13 years to find their bodies.
Oh.
And the dude literally was just sitting in front of his microphone and switched to pictures from time to time. But he did it kind of like that. They went out off trail. They turned their minivan this way.
Yeah.
And it's that style of reporting. I don't really care for it, but he did it in a way that I'm like, dude, I want to know what happened, because I remember when they were found, but why were they there? And yeah, they were following, and because it happened in 96, so you got no cell phones, no GPS. They had bought a guidebook, and the guidebook was outdated, and basically the road that was there isn't really there anymore. And unfortunately, the family passed away. But I didn't want to do that when I did this podcast. I just wanted it to be something different and have somebody to play off of when I talked every week. One of the other things I also liked was the first marriage in Scottsbluff, just because that was a wacky story about how it almost didn't happen, and the mix-up with the suitcase, and the crazy things with the train, and how it finally did happen. And I also happen to know some of the descendants of those folks. So it was neat because they provided me a bunch of information that I wouldn't have normally been able to find. It was a cool little story, and it just happened to be the first marriage in Scottsbluff. And you can actually go listen to that episode because I literally named it First Marriage in Scottsbluff.
There you go. That's good.
Yes. One day, I don't know how we're going to figure out how to do this, Connor. Oh, gosh.
Excuse me.
You okay?
I just coughed right in the microphone. Yeah, that's for you guys. That's some of that Nebraska cough. Let's just get for inhaling this good air.
Yeah. I would like to go back up Bede Mountain again. I just like the legend behind where the name came from.
Jason wants to go up too.
We
made a point. He said he wants to go up. So yeah,
we definitely need to go up. I love it because when you get to the plateau. So if you go up it's a little bit of a zigzag. I think it's part of a cow trail because it stops at some point. And I think it's because the cows just kind of kept going, and we're like, yeah, no, we're not going up anymore, and and then people have followed that, so it's more human than cow trail now. But when you get up, you can go left or you can go right. I have never gone right. I don't think I ever would because it requires a climbing skill that I don't have, and it's a 300 to 500 foot drop. I don't want to die. So you go left and you walk along the trail, and then you come on this flat plateau. And if you stand facing north, you can literally look to the left and see Scottsbluff National Monument, and look to the right and see Chimney Rock. And I just think it's neat. You can pretty much put yourself in the position of the folks that came here on the overland trails, and that it was used as a burial area for Native Americans, because that's how it got its name. And just to think that they went up there and sat and just looked. And as a matter of fact, my website, irenenorth.com, when you go to my blog and you look at it, I'm squatting down taking a picture. My friend Steve took a picture of me on top of Bead Mountain. So it's cool. It's a little neat thing, which is why I liked that episode and wanted to share it with people, because it is very cool. It took, 45 minutes to climb to the top. I would like to spend more time than I spent up there last time. I wanted to stay and look around a little bit more, but we were kind of on a schedule that day, so we didn't have the time I wanted. We had the time that everybody that went wanted. If I was by myself, I probably would have spent another 15 or 20 minutes up there. It was just a time thing. But there is that one little spot that I can't get up because I'm too short, and the ground is loose enough. Like, it would be a steep step for you, and that's what Steve did, because Steve is about as tall as you. And then he turned around and just yoinked us up. And I just don't know if I could do it by myself, and I don't want to be out there by myself if I can't do it by myself. I'd rather, it's one of those things where I'd rather be safe. Yeah. So, I absolutely want to go. And it's not, if I didn't make that step and I slipped and fell, I'm going to fall like 6 or 7 feet, but sliding on my stomach. It's not. It's going
to hurt, but I'll live.
Yeah. It's not like 25 feet to the right of that spot is a sheer drop off. Yeah. So I still would be okay, but I would rather go up there with someone else. And I also wonder if you can't just walk up the steep side of the mountain. I didn't try it while I was there. So anyway, that was the other thing. And then Wee Granny. I think you and I both like Wee Granny.
I like Wee Granny.
I just think that's a phenomenal story of.
Good story. It's very sad, but it's good. It's just something that I would have felt that someone would have made into some sort of movie by now, especially the Mormons. I really thought they would have made done
something
like romantic style Western movie.
Yeah,
because she really is inspiring. You could really do a good job with her because there's so much information we have of her.
Yeah,
and you could totally make a great inspirational.
Yeah,
one of those stories.
Literally, the only bit that we're not totally sure of is, did she get off in the boat in Boston or New York? Other than that, we have her life from Scotland all the way to when she died just east of Chimney Rock.
It's sad.
It's a sad and inspiring story, and I'm glad that Jerry, our friend Jerry, was the one that I first heard it from. I had seen her headstone in the Chimney Rock Cemetery for years. And I just assumed she was buried there. And then Chimney Rock 2019? It was either 2018 or 2019. They had 6 weeks of talks down at the Rock. They called it Sundays at the Rock. And my first thought was, why are the folks at Chimney Rock getting religious? And that's not what it is. It's Chimney Rock. So it was Sundays at the Rock.
Could have said Talk on the Rock, but that's probably copyrighted.
Yeah. And it was fantastic because that room held 50 people, and I stood with my laptop wedged on the edge of my wallet on my leg and just had my leg up against the wall, and I was balancing everything and had my arms squeezed against my side to keep everything from moving. And then I just typed as the people talked. And one of the talks was Jerry talking about Wee Granny. And so when we did the podcast, that was one of the first episodes I wanted to do because it's a great story.
It was one of the first.
Yeah. And so I had a little bit more access to a couple of things that I was able to clarify, and I know there were a couple of things that, Jerry was like, I'm pretty sure this is what happened. And then I was able to find some documentation that he was correct. And so literally the only thing I think Jerry and I disagree on is which port she got off at first. And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It absolutely does not matter. She got here, yes. Because the documentation is there that she took the train from New York to Chicago to, what was it? Was it Des Moines or Iowa City? And then they started walking. I think it was Iowa City. Something like that. Sorry, folks. It's been.
You guys both aren't like Klingon nerds from Star Trek and like debating how the right way to say plum is or something.
Yeah,
like that.
No. And it was long enough ago that it really doesn't matter if she, was on the boat to New York.
She's on the boat. She got off the boat.
Yeah. She got off the boat.
She never got back on the boat.
Yeah. And she passed away out here somewheres. And, no one really knows because somewhere about 13 miles east of Chimney Rock is a very big area to check. Mm-hmm. And given the vast numbers of people that have died out here on the trail coming out, even if you find somebody, was that her? How many somebodies do you...
And this is before farmers leveled ground, and they did not do it with any appreciation for heritage or archaeology or anything. They just wanted the land flat. You guarantee they probably raked up some bones and just threw them away.
Yep. And it happens. It's the same with, you can read the diaries of folks where they're going, you get to a certain point and you have to lighten your load. Mm-hmm. So you start throwing trunks out and do we really need the family silver? Do we really need this? Do we really need that? And the trail was littered with that stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's not there now because someone along the line came along and was like, hey, I need that. And so they would pick it up. And I'm sure same with bones. Wee Granny may still be out there somewhere. She may not be, but that's where I first heard of the story. And I think the backstory is just as interesting as the story that I told. Any that stick out for you?
No. Well, the whole story did. I thought the whole story was cool. Yeah, definitely. I think that was one of the more compelling stories as far as Oregon Trail. We did a couple more. Mm-hmm. We did a few others that were also really good, but that one was particularly good. Yeah. Like I said, it should have been... I'm so surprised by now that hasn't been... You could really make that into a good, like, Lonesome Dove style, like, Western movie that would really stick with you if you had the right story and the right actors. But, maybe we're pitching it out there. Anybody listening to Storytelling on the Plains in Hollywood,
I think it would make a great story, and I think just a lot of people don't even know about it, have never heard of it. And it's a neat little story that's also very sad, because a 75-year-old little old lady should not be walking in the frickin' heat of Nebraska. I mean, I was outside today just watering the trees, and that's just going outside, hooking the hose up, taking it down to the tree, turning it on.
And we're not even close.
Yeah.
We're only 90. And that's still a light summer breeze.
Yeah.
And we had a light spring breeze, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have any favorite episodes other than the ones I
think you actually mentioned most of
them. Yeah. I was kind of thinking when I was making the list, I'm like, yep. Yeah. I do like the story of War Bonnet. I don't know why I didn't write it down. That's been a while. That was one of our first episodes too. But if you guys enjoy learning about the history of Western Nebraska and its people, now I stole the name of Shumway's book. Keep listening because we literally have a list of over 200 stories, and we've barely scratched the surface.
Definitely.
There's lots of neat. Sorry, my throat's rebelling against me. There's lots of neat little stories out here, and I would say probably about half of the 100 we've done were not originally on our list of like 150 things.
No, probably not.
I went back and looked at the list, and the ghost stories certainly weren't on the list. the first marriage in Scottsbluff was not on the list. When I told someone about it, they were like, "Oh, have you heard about that?" No, give me the information. State Line Island was not on the list. So, new things come up all the time, and there's places I would like to go to get to and, get some pictures and get some video so that we could do more. We're just not super wealthy where we can just do this 24/7.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But with your donations.
Yeah. We could buy candy bar every month. And like I said, candy bar. We could buy candy bar. But you know what? You got to start somewhere, and I don't know. I'm enjoying doing it, and if Connor ever bails on me, I'll probably still do it. I'll just figure out. You know what I would do?
Get another sidekick. I see how it is.
Yeah, no. If you ever left, I would probably just hook up my camera and record myself. And I know we don't do that because I know you don't care for being on camera.
Ugh, no.
And I've had people tell me to just hook it up anyway and set the camera next to Connor.
No, you all don't need to see this ugly face.
No, so they wouldn't see you. They would just see me because the camera would be next to you. But those are some of our favorite episodes. You can go back and listen to them. We got a whole bunch more cool things coming up. And hopefully those of you who have been listening since the beginning, continue to listen, and maybe we'll pick up a few more people that listen on their daily travels. I want to spoil what we're doing next, but I also don't want to. So I think I'm gonna.
Hot. You're not gonna get nothing.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say I'm working on something in Chapel, Nebraska. And while I was working on the one thing in Chapel, I found out about something else. I just don't know do I do 2 Chapel stories in a row, or do I spread it out a little bit? Who knows? Whatever. It's whatever I feel like doing, because it's my podcast. And so if you enjoyed it, folks, come back next time. For now, I'm Irene.
And I'm Connor.
And this is Storytelling on the Plains.